deliver the opening statement. Can we have the visuals ready, please? One minute suspension. Proceedings resumed. Magandang umaga po sa lahat. Sa aking mga kasamahan sa Senado, sa ating mga kagalang-galang na mga resource speakers with various government agencies, sa non-government organizations, sa ating non-government organizations, sa inyo pong lahat, magandang umaga po. Noong 2 ng Agosto, sa akin pong privilege speech dito sa Senado, inilahat natin ang nakakaalarmang usapin ng laganap at karumal-dumal na mga patayan sa ating bayan. Hindi lang ito naging laman ng balita sa ating bansa. Sa buong mundo, pinag-uusapan din tayo. Tulad ng marami sa atin, nababahala ako sa kaliwat kanan patayan na inaalmusal natin kada umaga. Araw-araw na lang ang balitang may bagong napatay dahil nanlaban daw o nang agaw ng baril ang biktima. Marami na rin po ang kinaslang ng di kilalang mga salarin na kinabibilangan malamang ng mga vigilante. Inalok ng packaging tape at pinatungan ng cardboard na may mensaheng pusher o kaya hold upper, ako, huwag tularan. Nais po nating malaman ang katotohanan sa likod ng mga nasabing patayan at karahasan. Ano nga ba ang tunay na nangyari at bakit patuloy itong nangyayari? Hindi ko sinasabing ang lahat ng nagaganap na pagpatay sa operasyon ng mga pulis ay walang legal na batayan sa paggamit ng lethal force. Masyado lang marami ngayon ang napapatay sa mga enkwentro kumpara sa mga nakaraang panahon para hindi magduda kung nasusunod ba talaga ang rules of engagement. Doon naman po sa usapin ng vigilante killings o pagpatay ng mga di kilalang salarin, hindi rin natin sinasabi na may kinalaman ng gobyerno sa pagkalat ng mga death squad. May indikasyon na hindi lahat ng mga pagpaslang ay may kaugnayan sa kampanya laban sa droga ng gobyerno. Mayroong mga nakikisakay at nakikisabay lang sa lehitimong operasyon ng kapulisan para makatakas sa batas at para pagtakpan ang kanilang partisipasyon sa kalakalan ng droga. Kailangan po nating malaman kung ang sinasabing mga vigilante killings sa buong bansa ay magkakaugnay at bunsod ng isang organisadong pagkilos ng mga individual o grupo sa labas o loob man ng gobyerno. As I have said, my concern does not only revolve around the growing tally of killings reported by the Philippine National Police. What is particularly worrisome is that the campaign against drugs seems to be an excuse for some, and I just emphasize, some law enforcers and other elements like vigilantes to commit murder with impunity. Last August 18, Police Director General Ronald De La Rosa reported to the Senate Committee on Public Order and Illegal Drugs that there are 665 drug suspects killed in police operations from July 1 to August 15. But what is even more disturbing is that in the same hearing, the PNP chief stated that there are 899 drug-related deaths committed by unknown killers during the same period. Out of this figure, only 22 cases were filed in NCR-PO. Grabe ito. Katumbas po yan, 35 tao na patay kada araw. 35 persons being killed. Certain media outlets report different figures. The ABS-CBN Research and Investigative Group cites that there are 1,127 alleged drug offenders killed from May 10 to August 19. According to the report, 666 were killed during police operations, while 343 suspects were killed by unidentified assailants. GMA News and the Philippine Daily Inquirer, as shown on the screen, also tallied different numbers. How do we account for these differences? Why are there killings in such magnitude? What provides for the seeming continued impunity of those behind vigilantism and summary executions? Bukod pa sa mga tanong na ito, mahalaga pong malaman sino ang mga biktima, sino ang mga pumapatay, saan ito nangyayari, may investigasyon ba o kasong sinasampa o isinasampa pagkatapos ng insidente, aling ahensya o mga ahensya ang nag-iimbestiga, saan po ba hahantong ang kampanya ito? These are the questions that disturb me, both in my capacity as senator and as a Filipino. These are the same questions that the Filipino people would like to have answered. There is no indication that the statistics on killings of alleged drug suspects will go down anytime soon. How many people need to die before we act to correct this alarming situation? Buhay po ng tao ang pinag-uusapan dito, hindi lang basta numero. Sa bawat natagpuang bangkay sa kalsada, may nawalan ng kapatid, magulang at asawa, may naulilang pamilya, may gumuhong kinabukasan at pag-asa. I strongly believe extrajudicial or extralegal killings, whether perpetrated by the state or by non-state actors, must stop. Blatant disregard for human life has to stop. It is for these reasons that we hold the Senate inquiry in aid of legislation to address the rampant summary executions of alleged drug suspects. We have invited witnesses, families, and relatives of the victims who will be allowed to share under oath their stories and accounts of the alleged killings. Their corresponding testimonies are supported by their respective affidavits, which will be forwarded to the proper agencies for investigation and for prosecution. Mayroon po tayong 12 saksi sa 8 kaso ng pagpatay na may 11 mga biktima. 12 witnesses in 8 cases involving 11 victims. Malinaw po na ang mga kasong ito ay maliit na bahagi lamang ng mahigit 1,000 insidente ng pagpatay sa operasyon ng mga polis o ng mga hindi kilalang salarin. Sa pamamagitan nila, nais natin na malaman ang kwento sa likod ng mga insidente ng pagpatay Hindi po natin layunin na imbestigahan ang lahat ng kaso ng pagpatay. Hindi po natin kayang gawin yan. Kung hindi bigyan ng linaw lamang ang mga tanong na bumabalot sa ating isipan tungkol sa mga pangyayaring ito. Mahirap din pong makahanap at makakuha ng mga saksi na kusang loob na magtetestigo sa harap ng publiko. Ang iilan na haharap sa atin sa pagdinig na ito ay lumapit sa Commission on Human Rights upang humingi ng tulong sa pagpaslang sa kanilang mga mahal sa buhay. Nagpapasalamat po tayo sa CHR, sa pamumuno ni Chair Chito Gascon, at nandito po sila bilang resource speakers. We also invited the leadership of the PNP, headed by Director General de la Rosa, to serve as resource speakers, as well as members of the academe, various non-government organizations, and media networks. Let this be clear. The Senate is not a court of law or a quasi-judicial body. The Senate investigation is in aid of legislation, where the technical rules of evidence are not strictly applied. Our focus here is on the criminal acts to be addressed, not on the prosecution of the alleged perpetrators. The following are our objectives. Number one, to determine or check on the abuses committed by law enforcers conducting operations in pursuit of those who are allegedly involved in the illegal drug trade. Two, to reinforce our legal regime to address the phenomenon of vigilantism and summary killings. Three, to enhance legal mechanisms of accountability of state and non-state actors. Four, to strengthen the roles and responsibilities of relevant government agencies, especially the Commission on Human Rights, the Internal Affairs Service of the PNP, the Ombudsman, and the National Bureau of Investigation that are mandated to investigate cases of extrajudicial killings and summary executions that are perpetrated and or tolerated by public officers. And five, to institute legislative measures to ensure that fundamental rights, especially the right to life, are respected by authorities. This five-fold agenda of the proposed Senate Resolution number 9 can be subsumed under a general goal of improving our system of laws in connection with the prevention and investigation of extrajudicial killings and summary executions and those that relate to the mechanisms of accountability for those involved in these abhorrent activities. What accounts for the weakness in the legal system? What is the explanation for the reality versus law gap in the prevention and investigation of this type of killings? What provides for the seeming continued impunity of those behind vigilantism and summary executions? Are our laws sufficient to address these problems? Do we have those laws? Or are our current set of laws being implemented properly to deal with such phenomenon? These are the bottom line questions in the view of the chair in this inquiry. Sa investigasyong ito, sisikapin nating malaman, sapat ba ang umiiral na batas para tugunan ang patuloy na tumataas na bilang ng extrajudicial killings sa bansa? Kung sapat ang ating mga batas, maayos ba itong ipinapatupad para masigurong hindi ito inaabuso ng ilang tiwaling grupo o personalidad? Linawin ko lang po, hindi layunin ng investigasyong ito na pigilin o pahinain ang kampanya laban sa droga ng kasalukuyang administrasyon. Nais pa po natin itong palakasin habang sinisigurong walang batas na nilalabag, walang karapatang niyuyurakan, at walang buhay na nilalapastangan. Gusto din natin patibayin pa ang kakayahan ng ating mga kapulisan sa paglaban sa droga sa pamamagitan ng mga panukalang batas upang gabayan sila sa tamang pagtupad ng tungkulin. Hinihikayat ko po ang lahat na subaybayan ng mga pagdinig na ito ng Senado. Samahan ninyo po kaming suriin, imbestigahan at tukuyin ang katotohanan tungo sa mas mapayapa, mas makatarungan at makataong lipunan. Maraming salamat po. At this point, with the permission of my colleagues, the Chair now lays down the following House rules for this inquiry.